yesterday afternoon, he and an Auckland University professor, Robert McCulloch, I think, who we had on the show before, both declaimed Finance Minister Nicola Willis and regarded her as in part responsible for the appalling GDP figure that came out yesterday morning at roughly 11:15, and have suggested that she should resign from her role as the Minister of Finance. The Prime Minister, John Key, has said in this morning in her defence it's the Reserve Bank who deserve the blame for the sharp GDP contraction. Nicola Willis has herself blamed international tariff uncertainty. Well, that was interesting. But Roger Douglas is sticking to his guns. Of course he is. And he joins us now. So, Roger, fantastic to have you on the show. How are you?
Oh, not bad for an old devil, you know.
Where are you now?
Getting on.
Where are you living?
Same place as I've been for the last 30 years, I think, in South Auckland, on Redoubt Road, actually.
Okay, so you're enjoying your retirement, but you certainly came out of it yesterday. What prompted you, Sir Roger, to call for the resignation of Nicola Willis yesterday?
Well, I think the problem, it may not be of her making, but she's the Minister of Finance and she wants to be that. And in my view, she's not tackling the problems that are in front of her. Well, I mean, when I became Minister of Finance in 1984, I wasn't responsible for the mess that Muldoon had made, but I wanted to be Minister of Finance. I had the job and I had to do something about it. And I believe she's failing to do anything about the problem she has.
Well, what particular issues do you think that she's inherited that she's not doing something about?
Well, it's an issue that's been around for 30 or 40 years, and that's the cost of retirement, the cost of the retired in terms of pensions and in terms of health care. We have got a pay-as-you-go system of finance, and that can be attractive to politicians like Willis, who know they won't be there when it collapses. As a system, pay-as-you-go reaches a point where the number of beneficiaries grows and the number of workers paying into the system declines, and that's where we're at. And Willis is refusing to do anything about it. This is an issue which I've been interested in for 50 years. I introduced a private members bill in my first term in Parliament, and of course the National Party didn't like it, but we passed and had the super bill. If that super bill, if Muldoon hadn't got rid of that people, we wouldn't have this problem, because most people would be retiring with $1 million plus in their bank account.
Could you explain to me, Sir Roger, can you explain to me though, Nicola Willis, one person, one finance minister, is meant to solve a superannuation issue that has been carrying on for decades. How is she responsible for that?
Well, she's just she's in a long line. She's responsible because she's in the job now, and it's her, even despite the fact that Robertson might have been the worst finance minister we've ever had, and Bill English was not prepared to do anything in this area, didn't believe it, like the Libertarians. But the issue is now that we have $2 trillion, that's 2,000 billion of unfunded liabilities, and it's not going to be pretty trying to fix that up. And the disgusting thing about that is that it's the young people who of today who are being exposed to that.
So, Roger, in your day when you were a finance minister, there was a first past the post system in which Labor could easily and make things happen. Today we live in an
Yep.
MMP system where you've got to negotiate, in this particular case, Nicola Willis, with the ACT Party and with New Zealand First.
Right.
I'm struggling to see how she can be personally responsible for solving the intractable superannuation issue by
Well,
herself.
someone's got to, otherwise, the country's going to go broke. And you only got to look at the numbers that Treasury put out in 2021, where they said the cost of healthcare, super, and education is going to go up over the 40 years from 2021 to 2061 by 8% of GDP, which at that time would be around 1,200 billion. So she's got the job. It doesn't matter that others before her failed to do anything about it. She's got the job. She needs to attend to it, and she's refusing to do that.
Okay. The other thing that I just on that issue, you've also talked about the health costs of the elderly, essentially.
Yeah.
The only way that you can deal with that is you can cut the health budget, or you can ration health to people.
No.
Well, what are you going to do then?
Well, first of all, if you go back to ACT's original document, time for a change. Common sense for a change it was called. I've just picked it up. We covered this. This was at the heart. This problem. This was at the heart of what ACT was all about. Let me just read you a bit from it. The question of money is particularly important now. In the immediate future, we are being threatened by the largest debt in our history, a debt that hasn't reached the public consciousness in any serious way. It is a debt that the state owes to its citizens for our retirement, pensions and healthcare and retirement. And we put a number on it. At that stage, it was about 500 billion. Today, it's 2,000 billion. And who are going to pay for it? It's the young. We have loaded that money on that debt onto the shoulders of the most vulnerable people amongst us, our children and our young people. And
if you were Minister of Finance then, Sir Roger, and you were in charge tomorrow, how would you deal with what Nicola Willis is dealing with, which you've just said? You've described Grant Robinson as the worst finance minister you've ever come across, and he certainly seemed to be.
I'm happy to tell you, because I've published papers on this. We've sent those papers to Nicola Willis. I know some of her backbenchers are actually supportive of it, but she's influenced very much by the libertarians at the Institute, and she's got libertarians on her own staff. So it's not just her, but if you're the finance minister, you have to take responsibility. I'm just in the process of finishing another paper, but I'll give you an outline of it. I would replace the pay-as-you-go welfare system with a savings-based welfare system we have. I guess the only, Winston's probably the one person that's in favour of this. So how would we do it? No personal income tax on the first, let's say 55 to 60,000 of income. So there'll be tax savings of around 9 or 10,000. Every New Zealander in work would have a retirement saving account, and of that, say 10,000 tax, 6,600 would go into that savings account. If interest earned on it was 6.1, they'd retire in 40 years' time, 50 years' time, with $4 million. So if you want a comparison about the future,